Hello, 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 folks. I think we are live. Yep, we are. Looks like we're rolling. And welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with myself, along with Smitty, and of course, AzureEffect, always here in spirit. Not a whole lot to talk about, sorta. Only two topics, but I think the two topics will, lend some decent conversation for us to talk about. Like it says there in the title, man, we basically want to talk about the licensing situation with FIFA. I don't know so much about it. I kind of read over it, but basically, just to give y'all a quick heads up, I know there was been talk about EA potentially dropping the name FIFA because of the licensing and what FIFA wants to charge for it. We'll get into that, and then also we're gonna definitely talk about just the state of Madden. More so the way the executives approach this game, and it sucks because it kind of it's starting to rub off on, how do I phrase this? And I'll phrase this again when we get into it, but it's kind of rubbing off into the culture as far as the message that is being projected, because we've now heard the message from a dev, which we all respect. Clint, had a message. Y'all know we talked about that before, and then now we're hearing it again from Sean Grady, which again, somebody me and Smitty know and respect and known for years, and now he's in a more of an executive role, and we'll get into that. But that's basically what we're going to talk about today, tonight, if you will. And really quick, we'll do our quick intros and little miscellaneous stuff, and then we'll dive into it. So without further ado, let's throw it to Smitty, man. How was your week? I know we missed last week's show, so how was the last couple of weeks? And anything else you might want to dive into before we get to the meat of the topics.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? What's happening? Week's been good. Week's been good. Everything's been cool. Um, you know, Getting ready to go to very first game. I'm going to this Sunday at Ford Field. So playing against the Bengals. So that'll be fun to check out. Hopefully we don't get thrashed, you know what I'm saying, secondary wise, because I know that's not our strong suit. And I mean, yeah, I never been to a game, because usually, like I've said to Sim offline, usually I'm at church on Sundays. So, usually Sunday afternoon, I get home in time to watch most of the game, you know what I mean? But I'm not able to go to the stadium and check games out typically. So that's usually our family time we usually do on Sundays like that. So this is the first time for me. The last time I went to Ford Field, this would be my second time going there, because my first time going there, it was a long time ago. It was for a 50 Cent and Eminem concert that they did back then. So that was like a long time back.
Wow.
When I went, what let me see. Now look, a few things I just want to touch on real quick, because I was talking with Sim offline here. First of all, with the Detroit sports here, look, as far as Lions are concerned, this is what Detroit signed up for. This is what the Detroit fans wanted. Y'all wanted it blown up. Y'all wanted it reset. Yeah, you can't sit up here and say, "Oh, they gotta win, they gotta win, they gotta win," when a lot of people were overwhelmingly okay. At least the vibe was that people were perfectly okay with the team barely winning any games. If they won 2 or 3 games or 5 games, like my opinion, I believe the team can win between 3 and 5 games. That's where I'm at. But we understood that the team was hitting the reset button. Excuse me. And it was being blown up, so to speak. So this is what they did. And I mean, this is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you hit the reset button on a franchise. So, hold on, let me shut this door here. Sorry, y'all. Okay. All right, got a little bit too much noise going on. All right, so that's what happens when you hit the reset button. You're not necessarily going to win games. You may lose a lot of close ones, but I'd rather lose close games knowing that our talent level is extremely low than to just get annihilated every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that lets me know a lot about certain areas. Like I said on the show here already before, the Detroit Lions are a big old science experiment. There's a lot of stuff that we're not gonna find out until the season plays its course for the most part. And in this first quarter of the season so far, I could definitely say our coaching staff is definitely doing a solid job. Like, they are doing a really good job considering the low level of talent that we have for the most part. Like, our talent level is low, dude. The Lions are rated a 69 overall in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, our talent level is low, dude. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we are not that talented at all. Like I said, and we made a trade in the preseason, gave away draft capital for a guy that possibly could have been claimed off waivers at the wide receiver position. And now our arguably best receiver, is Quintez Cephas. Come on, man. Like, and I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying he ain't talented, but he's not a number one in the NFL. And he's our best guy, and he's gone for the year with a collarbone injury. Like I said, we lost Frank Ragnow for the season. Toe injury.
Oh, Ragnow gone?
Yeah, he gone for the year. Because he's having surgery on the toe. So he out. So he's done. So we still don't have Taylor Decker back. And the thing is, he's being eased back in. So it's like once he's truly ready, he'll come back. So it still may be a few weeks before he comes back. Bruh, our O-line is our best feature of our team. That is the best thing we got. And I mean, we have a few good players. Don't get me wrong. Our running back core is solid. But like I said, our O-line is our strongest suit. Jared Goff clearly is not, at this point right now, Jared Goff is not the QB of the future. But are we going to draft that in the next draft? I don't know. We got to see how the class even looks to even say, hey, let's get a QB. Like, that's what I'm just saying. Like, there's a lot of question marks with this squad, and it's going to take them some time to answer them. And I mean, listen, like I see Keith here saying they won't have a winning season. Hey, listen, if the Lions had more talent, I fully could agree with it. But see, things can go differently. Things can go extremely different year by year. That's the beautiful thing about football, especially in the NFL. Those dynamics can swing so drastically. Lions can be close to winning games and losing this year. They could keep that trend going this year, and then next year could come around, and they'll either win games or they'll start getting blew out regularly. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But my point is just that if the Lions were more talented, they would definitely be winning a lot more games. They would be, in my opinion, they would be 4-1. I would say the only loss would be that San Fran game. Or depending upon how things went, if they could have made some stops in the secondary, you're talking about 5-0.
You should have won that Ravens game. No question.
Oh, they should have definitely won that. They should have won that Ravens game without question. Heck, they should have won last week. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. Like, all of these games are winnable games if they're just a bit more talented. That's the wop. I will say defensively, I can only imagine how much better they would be if they had better defensive pieces. Offensively is a question mark. I don't know, because they don't have a guy back there that can sling it when they need that. You know what I mean? They can run. They could definitely run, but you got to be able to pass too. And Goff, like I said, Goff doesn't look like the answer right now. Like, he's had.
They used to have this dude that really could sling it. Boy, I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, I know, right? He's doing some work over in in LA over there with the Rams. They out there rolling. So yeah, I know, right? Like, but but everybody wanted him gone. People wanted him gone 5-6 years ago. So it's like, hey, what do we know? You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just saying that the Lions are a project of a team. Detroit fans need to realize this is what you wanted. Everybody wanted this. Y'all wanted this blow up and everything else. Don't start crying about we need to win games when this is what you wanted. You wanted this, you got it. So embrace it and live with it. Y'all embraced it before any games was played. Now y'all want to go postal because we losing these games. It's okay. That's what I'm saying. When I go to the game tomorrow, you ain't gonna see. I mean, tomorrow. When I go to the game Sunday, I'm very, very confident. I am going to see a lot of people. I'm gonna see a lot of people swear up and down that they are that they're a better coach, a better GM, a better everything. I know I'm gonna hear that around me. I know I am. And it's gonna be funny as all get up. But nevertheless, this is the way it works here in Detroit. Everybody acts like they got the answer, they got the solution. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, let these guys coach the way they need to coach. Let them make the mistakes they need to make. Our team is not that talented. The coaches aren't going to say it, but everyone on the radio is saying it. It's clear as day. It's like, dude, they're not that talented. They don't have the talent. People getting mad. Oh, they're playing at prevent defense, only rushing 3. It's like, listen, if we had better coverage, we're getting stops. But our coverage isn't as good because our guys in the secondary are not that talented. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's just the name of the game here. Ooh, excuse me. We need to get more talented pieces. So it is what it is. And it's the same thing with the Pistons. Just say real quick, I'll kick it to Sim. It's the same deal with the Pistons. People dudes acting like Killian Hayes got to average 30, 10, and 10 in order for him to be legit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, let the kid freaking develop. He had a hip. It's the same deal with him. He because he was drafted 7th, he's supposed to be a godsend. All of a sudden. He's supposed to just be this perennial all-star all of a sudden or whatever. It's like, bruh, the Pistons, I'm like, the dude came in, didn't have a training camp his rookie year, didn't have a training camp, didn't have a summer league at all because of the pandemic. He's playing, trying to catch his bearings, messes up his hip, and he's sidelined for dang near the whole season. Comes back towards the end, does some decent work, but by then, a lot of the teams they played were letting their foot off the gas in terms of really pushing. But he's shown signs of life. Goes into summer league. He does a decent job there. It's like, oh, but he's not posting these big numbers. It's like, so who cares? He doesn't have to. Now they measuring these preseason games and everything. Like, bruh, did you see what happened to the Hornets? Yes, was it yesterday? They literally only scored 50. What was it, like 57 points? It was like the final score was 57 to like 125 or something. But
Wow.
Dallas obliterated them. Like, I get it, it's preseason, but man. So it's like, yeah, the Pistons had a bad loss to the Grizzlies, but it's like some of these teams, they're really not going after it like that right now because it's the preseason. So it's like they're just warming up a bit. Pistons got to do the same thing. Cade ain't even playing right now because he hurt his ankle in training camp. So it's like he's not even playing right now. You go ESPN and you look at all the DNPs that aren't there. You got concussion, ankle, hip, ankle, this injury. It's like 6, 7, 8 guys not playing because of injuries. And I mean, not everybody is technically injured, but you have some guys that are legitimately hurt, and it's like they got to sit out. So it's like this is what this is what it's going to be like. There's going to be some struggles. There's going to be some woes, but we're going to see how it all plays out. Like, let them actually develop. Let these youngins develop, especially an international player that like what Killian is. International guys typically don't pan out like that. They just don't come out the gate just balling. That's not typical. That's why it's been a long while since a guy like Luka comes along. Last time you had someone come along like that was Dirk. That was in what, 90, 98 when he got drafted, or 99? So it's like, yeah, that's not a typical thing to get a guy that comes in the league. Well, you had Yao Ming as well. So it's like, that's not something you're just going to typically see. That's few, far, and in between. So it's like you have to invest in the development of them. That's how Tony Parker came up. He was a low pick, but he went to the perfect team, San Antonio, where they do a phenomenal job of developing talent, especially international guys. They did it with him, and they did it with Ginobili. So yeah, it's like you got to bring those dudes along, man. So, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, because I said this. Oh, last point. Look at the Red Wings right now are a season and a half, at least talent-wise and performance-wise. They look like they're a season and a half away from being a legitimate contending team. Not for the chip, but at least a playoff contending team. The Tigers, the way they finished this season really makes Al Avila look good. When folk was clowning him for the past 2-3 years, clowning him because our team wasn't winning much. But he stayed the course with his plan, developing this team accordingly, and now look where they're at. Now they could go into free agency, try and get some legit pieces, and build their team up. And actually contend possibly for a wild card spot next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? But that's the beautiful thing of it. It's like the team development actually going through all of that and coming up. You got to do those things. And it takes time to do. Everything is not going to be a microwave, fix it right here, right now. It's not like that, man. Folk wanted that for the Lions. Now you got it. So live with it. Y'all was cool with Dan Campbell getting a 6-year deal and everything. Okay, don't complain week 4, week 2, week 1 of the preseason. Go for the whole ride. This is what we wanted. So let's deal with it and see what happens. So, but all right, I'm off my soapbox. Go ahead, kick it to you, Sim, man.
Yeah, man, not too much. Steelers get a win. They 2-3. They face Seahawks, a Russell Wilson-less Seahawks, which sucks for Russell, man. Y'all know, most people know me and watch the Steelers show and all that. They know how much I like Russell Wilson. I hate to see him go out like that. So the Steelers will be facing off against Geno Smith and the Seahawks. And, no disrespect to Geno, man. He came in that game last Thursday and played well, and we'll see, but they still got weapons. So, the Steelers can't, and Steelers fans, y'all can't fall asleep and act like, oh, they're going to beat them. No, because up until this past Sunday, nobody was talking about how good the Steelers were playing. So the first game, they did a good job against Bridgewater and the Broncos, but we'll see. Other than that, really sucks about Juju. Just as, from a person standpoint, I really like Juju, man. Again, people who are Steelers fans and kind of know everything he does in the community and all of that, and the type of kid he is, like if you really follow him and know his story, it's hard to not root for him. But it's crazy to see how, speaking of a soapbox, and I won't stay there, it's just crazy to see how people act on social media, man. It's weird. Like, I seen people saying some weird stuff, like wishing ill will on him and good. I hope that was his TikTok shoulder. And I'm like, I just don't know. Like I said, maybe because I'm mature and getting older, whatever. I just don't understand that kind of stuff from people that, like, how you can feel that way about people you don't know. Like, literally, you don't even know these people. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, again, like I said on the show on Tuesday, man, for those Steelers fans that don't understand his value to the team, I don't know what to tell you. And we'll just leave it at that. We just have a difference of opinion. Real quick, though, Smitty, I did want to get from you, man. And we'll be really brief with it because I want to get to the topics. But the whole John Gruden thing, wow. I'll just say my piece. This ain't the time. I'm not gonna go into the whole thing. Y'all know what happened with him in the emails, and apparently, he's made, comments that could have been racist and misogynistic and, homophobic and all kinds of stuff, right? I would just say from this standpoint, I don't think we've seen the last. First thing that caught my eye was who was the emails going to, and when I found out it was the Bruce Allen, I think it was, like at that time an executive, that really made me look like, whoa. So who else was in these conversations? So I don't think we've seen the end of it. We might see an avalanche of situations with emails and people saying you never know who's safe and who's not. They already got something on Adam Schefter. Apparently some journalist is getting on him because apparently one of the emails to Bruce Allen was kind of him referring to him as the editor, and kind of like the narrative is coming off like he was allowing Allen to edit what he said and report it. So like I said, I think that, Gruden is just the big domino to fall, but it's going to be interesting to see what else, kicks off, from that. But, just my comments on that. It's wild. Listen, in today's world, over the last, you can even go back as far as 12 years. You just got to be careful what you do behind closed doors, man. Listen, nobody's perfect. I know a lot of you, a lot of us, we can all say you may have said things that you shouldn't have said in privacy of talking to your friend, but in this day and time, man, and you in a certain position, even at that time, you were an anchor at ESPN, you got to be careful, because we all know with these computers and social medias and all of that stuff, things can get hacked. So I'll just keep it like that. I'm not going to be one of those people that, he should know better. How much stuff have you guys done behind closed doors? What type of things have you and your friends joked about behind closed doors or whatever? And again, I'm not condoning what he did. I'm just saying, I'm going to say to anybody, you better just be careful what you say and where you put it. You put it out there in the universe in an email or a text, you just never know. So that's on him. And yeah, rightfully so. He needs to resign. He needs to be up out of here because, man, the kind of stuff that he was saying about certain people who are still in the NFL and women and all that, like, come on, man. You should already know what was going to happen once they found out about the one email. You already know. So it is what it is. But that's all I got to say about that. It's just, hey, man, be careful what you say and what you do. And like I said, what format you say it on. So that's all I got on that.
Yeah, I'll just say that, I think that, there definitely is going to be, there's going to be more to it at the end of the day, because Gruden is too connected. You know what I'm saying? To just it would be amazing to see this fall by the wayside. Have I paid attention to all the details? No. So I'm just adding on to what you're basically saying. Like, I'm agreeing with you on that. Yeah. I believe it's going to be more of a snowball effect. Guys are going to get linked into it. And like you said, conversations behind closed door kind of things, there's going to be stuff that's going to come to the light. And you know how it is when stuff hits the social media airwaves. It's like, oh, I can't believe that happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, everybody acts like they talk and conduct themselves perfectly all the time. But yeah, it's going to definitely be a storm. That's for sure. So at least that's what I believe. I don't think Gruden's just going to walk away quietly. If he does, Oh, you know he got some juice.
He
You
gonna
know
do
what I'm
the Nino
saying?
Brown.
Yeah, right.
Y'all all going with me. If I go down,
Yeah,
some of y'all might
right.
not even know that. He gonna
Yeah.
do the Nino Brown on
Yeah.
them. Well, this is bigger than Nino Brown. Oh man, Gruden about to bring the house down, bro.
Yeah, he gonna be on the podium. He's stupid.
Or a more current movie for those who don't know Nino Brown.
Man.
He gonna be like Frank Lucas at the end, like just negotiate. Okay, how much you want to? How much you want me to say? And what?
Yeah.
Nah, who
It's
knows,
gonna
man?
be one of it'd be funny if he did go like that.
That would be
you just
hilarious.
gonna take me. I'm telling him.
I'm
He
telling
did this.
everybody.
I'm telling all you. I'm like, everybody gonna go with me.
Shoot. Mike Mayock right now is probably shaking in his boots. Like, who knows what type of stuff they done have conversation about. Oh man. Hilarious.
That's funny.
But hey, it is what it is, man. Be careful out there, people.
Daddy.
So the topics, and I'll kick this one off because I haven't delved that much into it. You know, Smitty probably knows a little more than I do in terms of the FIFA stuff, but I could give you guys the skinny. Basically, I came across an article earlier in the week. It was like a headline saying that, you know, FIFA, well, no, not even FIFA. First, it was EA Sports is considering possibly dropping the name FIFA going into, I guess, the next year's iteration of the game. And I think, you know, I don't know exactly where I saw it, but maybe it might have been somebody like, you know, Sports Gamers Online. It might have been SGO that I saw it on, but I definitely saw that first. So you fast forward a couple days or so after that, and now you're hearing, I saw another article, again, I don't know the source, I just saw it. You know how stuff come across your timeline or whatever. I saw where it said that it's either projected or expected or one of those things that, or it might just be rumors that FIFA is wanting to charge like $1 billion for the license. This was the last thing I read. And I don't, again, I don't know how true that is or isn't, but that's the story. So my thoughts behind it. I got a lot of thoughts actually. Does dropping the name hurt the game?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
To me, it doesn't. Because I don't know if you've seen SGO's video earlier, but think about it. That's just like what PES does now, right? Like they have to negotiate deals with all these different leagues in order to get them in the game. So you think about it, EA has the FIFA. Well, they won't have FIFA, but they have all the marquee leagues in their game. So if they already have the marquee leagues and just call it something different, that's not essentially hurting them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they said they lose the FIFA name, they'll lose the World Cup, and like one other thing they'll lose. But other than that, they still would have everything else. I don't think that affects the UEFA championship. No, because that's a whole league itself. See, so like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a league. All these different leagues. They already had a player licensing, so they already have that, and then the team licenses that they have, that they paid for. So it's like it's not that EA can't pay it. Obviously they could, but it's like why? And I mean, you can call the game something different and people will be okay with it. No, go out there. Yeah, I don't know. Go out there. Okay, go out there, buddy. So they can switch it up and still keep everything intact. That's it. That's like NBA. Well, I mean, no, NBA Live ain't hitting like that. But think if 2K, that's like saying the NBA pulls their name out from a game, but 2K still got all the team licenses and the player, union. Like they got that license too. So it's like you can still put all the teams in there and it just won't say NBA.
Yeah, just be 2K basketball.
Right. Yeah.
2K12.
2K.
2K20,
Yeah, right.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2K Sports presents, 2K professional basketball. But then you got all the NBA teams, all the NBA players. You're just not calling it the NBA. That's the only difference.
Now, does that help PES at all? Because I know there were certain licenses and stuff that PES couldn't get or didn't have. I don't know if they could or couldn't, but they didn't have. And I know people would always say that's kind of a one-up that FIFA has over them. Does the FIFA part of that work in conjunction with that, or is it totally different?
No, it's different because once again, we're talking about the leagues. So every league is specific. Yeah, every league is specific. So therefore, when you're talking about particular league licenses and they're being exclusive, because EA had deals with exclusivity to particular leagues. So the more popular leagues are going to be with FIFA, whereas PES is going to have because there was a point in time when both games had, the marquee leagues. Now it's just FIFA that has them. So going forward, EA still will have those leagues in there. So the more popular leagues that the casual fan can identify with. So they'll still have that. PES won't have that. Even if like I said, them getting with FIFA is just like it's like having a name. That's like, instead of PES, that's like PES switching their game. Like instead of calling it eFootball, they could call it eFIFA if they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like saying that they got the license. That doesn't mean that's got nothing to do with the leagues they have. Now they could say, hey, we got the World Cup. We could put that in there, but it's like, is that going to really make a big deal for the investment that they would have to pay? And I mean, I'm not sure if FIFA would charge Konami that much money because they know they're not making that much bread. But EA, like I said, they could easily pay. I think what did my man say? Curtis, what did he say? He said basically it would be like around 600 million, upwards of $600 million over the next few years. If EA were to keep that licensing. And I mean, it's just for the namesake of saying, hey, the name on the front is FIFA and within the game is FIFA and we got the World Cup in here and everything, or, like that kind of stuff. Or maybe it'll go to the point of making a World Cup game like they did in the past. They had made the World Cup, game separate from FIFA, but I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna hurt their game at all. Like I highly doubt it's gonna mess them up. So
yeah, I didn't think so too much, man. It's not like the NFL,
right?
And where we know the story with that. And just a side note to answer C-Mad's reply there. He says, I think that's what 2K is going to deliver with their football game having an NFLPA license. Nope, don't count on that.
Yeah, no.
Remember, the NFL is putting their name on it. And the deal is to have a non-simulation game.
Right.
So, again, I'm not going to go down that road tonight, but I just want to keep reminding people of that. I mean, we're in October. We'll be in 2022 soon enough, and, that game should be getting worked on if it's not delayed again. Just don't expect anything like all pro football. esque, meaning 11 on 11 like that with the, because remember, they have the NFL names and likenesses, and there's no way the NFL, just my opinion, there's no way the NFL signs off on that only to make us aware that it's not simulation. Like, that doesn't make sense. So that's why I don't think we're going to get anything close to that. It's just going to be some type of, I feel like it's either going to be like NBA Playground or it's going to be like My Career. That's kind of what I feel like. Would be dope if it would be like a My Career where it's open world, and let's say, you know, you could do kind of like Madden squads. That'd be cool. But see, this is where 2K could kill it, is if they just make the gameplay authentic, even if it's 3-on-3, you know, as far as the way they move and run and tackle and physics and ball tangibility, all of the stuff that we, you know, those little physics things and AI and all that stuff that we want to see in Madden. I think you can do that and still, you can even deliver like a super mega baseball type of arcade-ish looking game, but it could play like real football.
Right.
I think that's the best case scenario is we get something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. And I mean, you got to understand, and the other thing too, I mean, I'm pretty sure C-Matt already knows, but you just got to understand that, like we spoke about it a while back, the rules, 2K, from a legal standpoint, pretty sure they know what the ramifications are, the parameters.
Exactly.
As far as when EA says, see, to the general public, we're the only ones that can make simulation football games. To the general public, they're just going to think, oh, man, they can't do nothing. But they can legally in the background be like, okay, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, but we can do this.
Right.
So, and it'll technically count. So that's why it's just like that's what we're saying. Like, if they do something like a super mega baseball, that would be their best bet. Like, give us a franchise mode or give us gameplay that is emulating the NFL experience, but it's not truly NFL, you know, simulation, so to speak. That doesn't fit that mold. So that's the key thing they got to do. So
yeah,
we'll see, man.
I get what C-Matt is saying here too about saying, you know, they don't own the rules of football, and you know, you're welcome to your opinion. Even if you take opinions aside, let's just think for a moment. They shot themselves in the foot. I'm gonna use your opinion. Let's say they're gonna do what you said with the NFLPA license, right? This is where they shot themselves in the foot. Signing with the NFL. If you were gonna do that, then signing with the NFL, not just the NFLPA, but signing with the NFL, you already handicapped yourself. Because even though the NFL doesn't own all of that, but the NFL does own what they allow you to make under their name. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole distinction of, we have signed a non-simulation deal. You see what I'm saying? So in order for it to work the way you would hope, it wouldn't have been no dealing directly with the NFL. Maybe they would have did a licensing deal with the players or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. Just be realistic about what you hope and expect. We could take opinions off the table. If we just look at the business side of things, it's just not shaping up for us to get a, like I say, an all-pro football where that was full-fledged football that just had old legend players. That was the way that you can make a simulation football game with players that we know, but it's not current NFL. I don't think that situation happens again. Not with this deal, because it just doesn't make sense for 2K to sign with the NFL and for the NFL to sign with them if they're just going to turn around and let them sneak attack them. You see what I'm saying? It just don't add up. So, but hey man, it would be great if that's what happens. I would love for that to happen. But just kind of looking at it from a business side. But we'll see. But on to Madden. You know, we moving right on through these topics tonight, man. Because, guys. Here's the thing. I'm gonna read some stuff really quick. before I get into the meat and potatoes. And Smitty actually, let me know what some of the chatter is online about the recent bugs and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to give the name because y'all know I never do that, but I'm speaking to somebody, that's definitely of the bunch that is pretty much done with Madden and all of that. Hit him up, private message, was like, yo, what exactly is going on? Because let me explain this. I always tell y'all this. Maybe I should start off with this. Last night, I played my first game versus an opponent in Madden 22. Very first game. Sim Standard Radio League started up last night. We were waiting for the scouting update. Scouting update is in there. And I've said this many times on this show. Even when Smitty was playing in the league, we can have a relatively decent time with like-minded players, right? Stay in that little fishbowl, we're fine. It's still you still get some Madden stuff from time to time. And in any league, in any sim league knows this. You always have a few players that learn how to abuse the AI, and that's where you get frustrated, i.e. things that we saw when Smitty was in the league. And Smitty was like, you know what, I ain't dealing with this no more. And I fully agree with him. Yeah. There's certain things that I learned how to combat. And then there's some things I just be like, whatever, man. It's camaraderie. Chopping it up with guys like, Azure, of course, and then other guys that, we've grown to know over the years. And I don't take it too serious. However, had a very good game last night. Very good. I ended up losing, lost to the Bills. Shout outs to Caleb. Caleb is running with the Bills now, Smitty. He off his Giants.
Really? Oh, okay.
It was played out great. I might even post it on the channel because, I have another channel that we stream all of the games. Listen, we are real sim guys where you have to stream your games so people can review how you're playing, make sure you're playing within the rules. We have the play cooldown limit set to 5, and the other one, both of those settings. I forget the names of each, but both of them we have at 5. Played well, right? Lost the game 29-26. Very clean game. Didn't see anything out the ordinary. Got an interception. Like I called the cover 3 Sky. Joe Hayden played it very well, picked it up. I mean, the game played good. But I always have to say this caveat. Me and Smitty, and I could probably speak for some of you guys, we don't find all of the nonsense that some of our competitive brothers do. Yeah, I said brothers. Some of these guys I know, and they're good dudes. Some people don't like them because of the way they play. But, dog, put money on the line and tell me if you ain't going to try to do what you can. Like, I never understood that. I get it. You don't get much more sim-minded than me and Smitty when it comes to sports games. And you guys are included. But, dog, don't lose sight of the fact that it's a game. And if the game isn't built to a point to where you can't do certain stuff, I can't blame the messenger. You told this dude that he can win 50,000 playing this game. I'm supposed to be mad at him for exploiting it? I can't. Me as a person, I can't do that because at the end of the day, it's a video game. I'm not going to be mad at him because he don't play sim. Okay, I wouldn't either. Let me tell y'all something. If I could do all that stuff that the Skimbos of the world and all them know how to do, I'd be out there doing it, and I'll come on here on Thursday and do this show. Yeah. But on Saturday, y'all will see me up there doing my best Voltrex impression, right. Like swerve catch. Let me get that 100,000.
Yeah.
So bring it back to the point. A lot of these guys, like the Rellies of the world, they find stuff that I don't notice because I don't lab like they do. I told y'all saw a couple of the games that I posted full games before the game dropped. And what do a lot of people always say? Man, you make the game look better. I'm just playing it straight up. I'm not trying to abuse the computer. I'm just trying to play a clean game. So some of the stuff I don't discover. Where I discover problems is like when me and Smitty showed you guys on the show a couple of weeks back. Oh, look at this. Why is he playing it like that? When I go into replay, but I don't go see. I'm just not the labber like that. Not saying I can't do it. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? There's certain stuff I don't try. I don't try to like use this one of Smitty's words. I don't Frankenstein the game and stuff. You know, so I need some of those people. I reach out to a lot of them and be like, yo, what's going on with the game? Where are the bugs? What's happening? What are the bad stuff? And then I reach out to guys like Kia that can do all of that. Kia is the most sim-minded dude you'll meet, but he can play like that too. Like he knows from a sim standpoint and a competitive standpoint what's wrong with the game. So, but anyway, I reached out to somebody, right? And this is what they told me. So I said, just a little while before, actually while we were on the show, I said, hey man, what's going on? What are all of the bugs after the patch? You know, I see a lot of people going crazy. Here's some of the things that was written back to me. How hot routing locks the offensive controller. What? Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is specific to Mutt. I didn't call a hot route last. Yeah, I did. I did call a hot route in the game last night. Didn't happen to me. So again, I don't know, is this certain situation? Then he says the offense flipping will lock the defensive controller. He also says certain plays in the red zone will desync the game. He said, man, it's a lot more. It's really bad. Solo battles. You cannot lose these games because they say if it desyncs, it gives people an L. So a lot of times you're this desync and the other person gets a win. It's weird. And then he said it basically killed their rewards this past week. And then we went on talking about some other stuff. See, bugs like that is just unacceptable, man. And it segues me into my point really quick, and then I'll throw it to Smitty. Remember when Clint was on Good Morning Madden? I did my independent video. We came here. We talked about it the same week. We were saying, listen, all due respect to Clint. That's my guy, man. I've known Clint a long time. He's a good guy. I don't care what y'all have to say about him. That matters not to me. Clint is a good individual, at least from the interactions I've had with him, just regular conversations out at dinner. It's a good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, where we got on him about that week is we was like, we didn't really like that corporate answer, Clint. We didn't like that. We understood why you had to say it, but wrong time to say it. I even gave an example of how he could have skated past it. Remember, this was right around the time when coverage was still broken, right? And I say still, meaning before any of the patches. This was before the cover 3 patch, right around that time. And then he went on to say in that particular interview, and we got cover 2 stuff coming and cover 4. And we're taking a small approach to it, make sure we da. And I was like, cool. You had us right there. Then he went left. Where he went left is he was trying to justify he was using the statistics and the data to show that the game doesn't appear to be as bad because the defensive data compared to what was currently happening in the NFL. And that's when myself and Smitty said it on the show when we did the show that week. Like bad. You can't say that to us, not this crowd. You can't do that. Like, we get the corporate answer, but you cannot do that. You cannot justify legit problems in a game with numbers. Even if the numbers happen to work out, it's still a problem. So that went on by. Fast forward to now. And I want y'all to notice something else too. I don't know if anybody else be peeping it. Y'all notice the little subliminals that Rex be throwing out there? I want to do y'all notice that. Shout outs to Rex if he's listening to this. Listen, Rex worked with a lot of these guys on the dev team. I'm sure he loves them. I'm sure he feels the same way I do about some of those devs. But Rex always finds a way to rub it in to Madden, and he's doing it at the corporate level, because remember when Rex left, it was creative differences. Had nothing to do with his team. He was doing this with the corporate guys. So did y'all see Rex threw a shout out to Kat Bailey, I think it was, who did the interview? Did y'all see that tweet when he was like, yo, shout out? Like, it's, again, you got to kind of use your read between the lines to peep game. Like, he always does it. He always finds a way to jab, and I love him for that. But anyway, she asked some wonderful questions in the interview, but basically, Sean Grady, Neil Patrick Harris, as I call him, because that's what he looks like to me. I even told him that. He, for whatever reason, echoes the same message about, and he went even a little further, Smitty, about saying, well, are they really bugs? Because most of the fan base, they don't really listen. Let me just say this really quick, because I want Smitty to dive all into this. I understand that y'all are delivering a corporate answer, but out of touch is like an understatement. Like, come on, man. Like, listen, it used to be a time, I want y'all to pay attention to this. It used to be a time when the conversation from devs and such was, you know, we know we got work to do in that area. We're just not there yet. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? When the devs used to literally say, we're just not there yet. We know there's things we got to fix around that. We're just not there yet. Remember when I used to do the interviews at E3 or EA Play? And you would hear Clint or Rex openly say, you know, we're not quite where we need to be in that space. We still got to attack. Da, 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 da. They used to say that publicly. But this time, both Clint and Grady are delivering the same message. It feels like to me that is the sentiment from up above. You will not give in. That's what it sounds like to me. I could be dead wrong. We got Brett here. Brett, shout outs to Brett Lee in the chat, who used to work for EA back in the day. Brett, you tell me if I'm wrong. This sounds like a corporate approach. Like, shut up. Like, you better not go out there and nope, defend it. That's what it sounds like to me. Because like I'm saying, there was a time when the devs would say publicly, very simple, we know we got work to do in that space. We're just not quite there. They used to say it all the time. And that's what I was saying about what Clint could have easily said on Good Morning, I said Good Morning America earlier, I think. Good Morning Madden. He could have easily just said, look, you know, we're still working on that. We got these patches coming, and left it at that. There was no reason to bring in numbers. But you do that, again, I think is coming from upstairs. This is the message you deliver. Because the Twitter conversations with those guys is different now. That's a corporate thing. And I don't like that. I don't like that, because when you got backed in the corner last year, when us franchise folks came out and said, hold on, man, we call BS. And we backed y'all into a corner and they threw you out there in front of the TV. And don't go back in the tuck and tail now, man. Like, I just, and again, I'm always telling you guys, it ain't that serious. It's just a game, and you're right. Because after we cut the show off tonight, it don't bother me, but it's like, if we in this community, we're going to give our opinion. This don't give me no confidence, man, that the game, I don't know, man. I'm cool. Let me say this, and then I'll move on. I'll throw it to Smitty. I'm okay with them just not being there and they're still trying to fix it. Maybe they know they have to rewrite and rebuild, whatever. We'll just be pissed off that it ain't there. Like I'm cool with being. It's almost like the. I hate to throw this example, but y'all will get it. It's almost like politics, right? When people be like, "Well, you know, when it was Trump and Hillary, do you rather go with the BS that you know that we always had, or you want to try some? You know what I'm saying? I would rather have just went with the BS. The BS that we've been getting the last few years of, oh, we got to fix. I would have been cool with knowing my beef instead of now you trying to mask it with, well, actually, like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying, Smitty? Like, what is this approach? This is something different. And I just don't like it. I don't like that. Just own up to it, man. Like, because honestly, people might not agree with me, but the game has made some strides in areas like getting the scouting stuff and all that in there is huge. But you lose the same people when now every time somebody asks you, like, she straight up asked them, go read that article on IGN. She went in and you dancing around it like, well, you know, we don't think they're all just. Okay. Even if y'all want to play semantics, you know what the biggest issues are. Period. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around the complaints about coverage from every fan base, pretty much. Simulation, comp. So you trying to justify that, saying that, well, we don't think most people know. Man, come on, man. Oh Lord, I'm tired of that, Smitty. I'm tired of that. You got to go, man. You got to do better.
Yeah,
you got to do better because at this point, I think a lot of us. I mean, like I just play it casually now. It's not. I don't even. You know, all these other games got my attention, man. That Battlefield beta.
Oh,
you wait till that come out. Y'all won't be hearing me talk too much about no Madden.
And that hazard mode. I don't know if you've seen that trailer for that.
No, I ain't seen the trailer yet. I gotta check that out.
Man.
Come on, man. FIFA is out. NHL is coming out.
Yeah.
2K's right here on my screen. I'm into that franchise right now. And every now and then I go back and play MLB. It's like, as much as I love football, I'm at the point now where if it ain't it, it ain't it. I get my little taste of football, then I'm out. But we got it. We got to get something better than this, man. We deserve a quality football game, just like the rest of these games. I'm not asking for perfection, but even when it ain't up to snuff, don't start giving me these BS excuses. That's the problem I got right now. I ain't liking it, bro.
Yeah.
What you got on it, Smith? I already know where you're going with it, but the people deserve to hear it.
I mean, look, it was one thing when it was Good Morning Madden and it was Clint talking. That's Good Morning Madden. You know, really, it's just going to be mainly hardcore Madden users that are going to watch that stream or tune in to check out what he said.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you go to IGN, you know, that's much bigger space. Yeah. You can't go to IGN and then make those kind of points. You did the same thing Clint did. And it's like, look, check this out.
It's crazy.
I was looking at it. What did he say? Hold on, wait. Let me go back to it here because let me see. Hold on. Where's it at? Okay, no, it was. Where did he talk about?
I gotta find the article. Where is it?
When it launched, it was quite buggy, even by the most generous standards. I'm curious what led to Madden having these issues at launch. The first line got me. Well, I debate a little bit quite buggy. And I'm like, how are you debating that? Like, what do you mean you debate it? there were certainly bugs. I could tell you I'm frustrated and the team frustrated. There was a head-to-head season bug he touches on. And then this is where the one that people get really upset about was certainly there are bugs that a fair amount of players will see and we'll react to them as quick as we can. But there's also bugs that get exposed that very few of our players see.
Bro,
We'll still treat them with high importance and react as fast as we can, but they're not impacting the millions of players that are playing our game. Like, come on, man. And he's like, so I have to say that because, again, I just think the world we live in with social media makes it feel like any one-off bug that's out there is happening to everybody. Come on, dude. You can't do that. If you have one dissatisfied customer, you just can't say, oh, well, they're just, they're that little small percentage. So it's like, whatever. Like, you can't possibly take that and think that's okay. Like, and see,
here's the interview, guys. I'm posting it in the chat so you guys can check it out.
This right here. And this is what Kat straight up said. She said, I think from the viewpoint of a lot of people, myself included, defensive coverage in particular was quite broken at launch. You push it immediately to start addressing some of that. I'm just curious how the game can launch with that serious of a problem with defense, a fundamental issue of the game.
Fundamental issue.
Fundamental. We be talking about that so much. And see, he said, I think again, I have to challenge how that is completely broken because broken, and it's with the quotes, because broken sounds like you can't call any defense and play the game at all. And that's just not the reality. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. No one is saying you can't play defense at all, but they're saying you can't have this game running off the tracks, off top. Like, you can't have that. And it'd be like, well, I got to second guess you there. I mean, basically, that's like having a train and say, well, you know what? We have a 20 boxcar train and 12 of the cars fell off, but we still got two. We still, you know what I'm saying?
Still a train.
We still got 8 and we still got the train. The conductor can still drive. It's like, no. That doesn't excuse it at all. No pass. And I mean, and then he answered with the data. He responded to her with the data answer. He came with the Clint answer. Like, you can't do. You went on a bigger media stage and came with the data answer. Come on, dude. You can't do that. And that's why I want to. I love you. All love in the world to you, Sean. You my man. I understand. I even empathize with him with the whole with all the backlash because of franchise. I'm like, we rock with you, but you got to come with it. Like, I understand what's up. We get it. But this ain't it, dog. Like, you can't come up with you can't answer like this and think it's gonna work. Like, and I mean, even if you're giving the corporate answer, you got to give a better corporate answer than that. That you can't. And like what Sim had said, when Rex was there, I'll tell you that. Did Rex bring up data? Yep, he did. He brought up data, but he also he would let us know about data so that we could counteract it. Or he would make a point regarding data to get the backlash. So then he could take it to the execs and be like, hey, look what everybody's saying, though. You told
like
me
the run game.
That. Yeah, like,
remember Rex would be like, I mean, people saying they can't run the football, but the stats show, the data shows that they're averaging yada yada yada. And I'm like, that see, and that was a justification to not adjust the difficulty at that time that some people was having running the football. Mm-hmm. We would literally be in the studio and I'd be like, yo, Rex, I just rushed for 120 yards. But it's the way I play.
Right.
It ain't this justifying bugs, man.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother thing. He ain't justified. He ain't justifying bugs. You know what I'm saying? So matter of fact, he had checked me when I was on Twitter because dudes was talking. I think it was Madden 17 where dudes was fumbling the ball and not using the protect the ball mechanic, and he was like, "No, it's a bug." Like he let me know, like, "No, Smitty, it is a bug in there that for that to be happening." And I'm like, and a lot of people co-signed, jumped on it and everything, but still, it's the fact that the way the game was playing and people are fumbling. I'm like, he's like, no, we spotted it out as a bug, clear as day. But it's like he's not justifying it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even justify it, even though he said it incorrection. Like, no, real talk, Smitty, this is a bug, this is an issue. Yes, we have those mechanics in the game, but this is an issue, kind of deal. And he didn't say, excuse me, well, when it comes to the data, X amount of people are fumbling, and the number of fumbles they have are like the NFL because blah, blah, blah. Like, no, he didn't do any of that to try and excuse it and gloss over it. He was like, no, that's a problem. That's got to be fixed, period. And see, it ain't like that now. Clearly, it makes it seem as if they're trying to establish a new tone in terms of making it okay to drop a game that, I mean, let's just think about it here for a second.
That's what it
The
sounds like to me.
hardcore people, think about this, us included, us and comp guys are the small sliver of the pie. That's been said. Statistically, data driven. Yeah, they may be on them stages and they may be on ESPN and Twitch and all that stuff occasionally, but they're still a very small sliver of the overall pie. So when you're a small sliver, the sim and the comp guys, we're all this very small sliver of the overall pie. They can say stuff like this. Now we'll torture them for it, but what has to happen? EA has to do something so bad that if they make a statement like this, they're going to get burned at the stake for it.
Franchise.
Yeah.
We saw it work. Everybody complained about it. And look what happened.
Yep.
And so it's going to have to be something like that. Like, Smitty is right, man. It's like, and I will say this, because I feel like Smitty will agree with this. I do feel like sometimes we have built-in notions or we have built-in excuses that we try to give ourselves as to why Madden isn't what it is. And what I'm explaining here, and shout outs to Luke here, but Luke says Madden doesn't attract the football players. Madden is basically has turned into a kid's game. But see, I challenge that kid's game statement. I always say that. I said it here a couple of weeks ago. Because here's the funny part. All the stuff that they have added to the game in the last 4 or 5 years, even from a gameplay standpoint, that stuff is not for casuals. So it's I don't always agree with that statement. Because like people always say it's an arcade game. Nah, it's not. Now, you might internalize stuff as it being arcadey, but just think about it. All of the stuff that's in the game, hot routes and all that stuff, that match coverage, that stuff ain't for casuals. It's not. Scouting update, that ain't for casual people. And that's why me and Smitty and Azure and others, many others who would go down there all the time, that's why we were so passionate. And this is a message to the comp crowd. Not all of them. Not the guys that I know, but some of the comp guys, kind of make fun of the franchise guys and all that. Game. I get whatever your opinion is your opinion. But the fact of the matter is, we were here when Madden was just a football experience. We were here before the internet in terms of people playing online, and we saw what made Madden become the game that it became.
Oh yeah.
It was being an authentic, as close as possible, but it was that whole, if it's in the game, it's in the game. Madden used to live up to that, to the best of his ability, to the best of the technology at the time. So that's why we always approach it like that. And even now, since the Rex era and all of that, since we've been going down there, it's a ton of stuff in Madden that is not for the casual. It ain't for casuals. Target passing down, daggone sure was not for the. Right. So all I'm saying, guys, is listen, I'm not gonna try to change how people talk or think. I'm just saying sometimes I think we missed the mark a little bit when like you try to find a box to put something in. That ain't the box, in my opinion. It's not a total arcade game. I mean, listen, Neff is in here. Y'all know how critical Neff is on any football game. He's just like us. You know, Neff is able to stream Madden and with his slider. Like Madden is not completely unplayable. It's not completely trash. It's not, in my opinion, it's not. I can actually have fun with the game. I just told you that. My very first match against an opponent was last night. I waited until the Sim Standard league started to play, and I had a good experience playing somebody who plays like me. But with that said, there's still stuff in Madden that I need to see. You know what I'm saying? Two things can be right at the same time. So I'm never on that train of it's an arcade game. There's no football in it. I don't subscribe to that. It's just that, think about it. What me and Smitty always preach. If they were to improve in certain aspects, the game goes from to wow. Just that fast. Player interactions, physics on at all times, reduction or elimination of two-man animation, AI. You got a totally different football. Like now we on here talking about like, yo, Madden is crazy.
Yep.
And if it was as arcadey or as bad as some people would say, there's no way we can make that statement. Saying they ain't that. Couple fixes here, a couple retuning here, and the game is a whole different experience. So that's what I'm saying. Like again, Luke, that wasn't me picking on you. I'm just saying I see that a lot from people when they say, "Oh, this game it's for kids," or there's no football at all in the game. I'm like, nah. See, now we debating different stuff. That's never been my debate. My debate with Madden right now is make the fundamental things play out fundamentally. Like Kat said, coverage had problems from day one of Madden 22. And we're still seeing some of those problems. Has some of them been resolved? Sort of. But what do I say? What have I said here on the show? It ain't so much the assignment. Also, along with the assignment, now they got to integrate a behavior within the assignment. Like Smitty always says, they got to incorporate diagnosing the situation. Okay, like, all right, I call cover 2, but if ain't nobody on your side, don't just go play your grass. Like they got to get that stuff retooled. So where the game
Ignite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're aware of everything. They're aware of the situation, making plays, making decisions. They're going to be thinking on the field and all that stuff.
Yes, man.
Y'all said the key words, and I was like, "Oh snap! I can't wait for Madden 25 because we're going to start to see this that they're talking about." And it's like it never happened. It never to this day has happened. And I mean, they need to do. And this is what I'm saying. Like what Sim said, and we've said this occasionally. Over the years, we always bring it up at some point and just say the stuff that think about if you could pull those two-man animated sequences apart and DBs and wideouts could just organically contort and say focus objective on ball, contort limb. Like I'm pretty sure they could command it to where they'll do the behavior of trying to track the ball, like code the game so they acknowledge each other. So they acknowledge the ball, and it like if FIFA is not capable of doing it, they do a phenomenal job of making it appear that way, because it looks like it. They'll animate, they'll act like they're aware of each other, especially those corner kick situations. They act like they're fully aware of each other. They boxing each other out, trying to get position. They jump up, they wrap their head around the shoulder, all that stuff. They do all those things. And it's like, why can't we get that stuff happening in Madden though? Like, they do all those appropriate actions. So why not do? And I mean, the thing we always see FIFA talk about is rewrite. We never hear anything about Madden rewriting stuff. And I'm like, they honestly need to fully rewrite systems in their game. They need to rewrite stuff. Seriously, the basic things we're talking about. I mean, yeah, are we talking about a big task? Yes, but it's necessary. You could have the animations you have right now and just rewrite the systems. Start making it more organic. Make the double team play more organic in terms of the O-line. Make that more of an organic situation. Have your ball physics redone and retooled. Have your passing placement and trajectories actually be authentic to what happens in the league. Have your wideout DB interactions, instead of them being those scripted animations, they're more organic kind of events that are happening, and then tighten up the AI so that way they're actually diagnosing stuff on the field and making plays accordingly. Like, doing those things alone.
It's little stuff here. I'm just going to let it play, guys, for those of you that may not have seen this video. But people who commented on it was like, yo, why doesn't the game play like this all the time? Look at this cornerback. Look how he takes the inside away. Then peels off, and now he's going to play the guy on the next level, passing him off. Now, of course, what I talked about in the videos, I don't like this forced chuck. And that's kind of what Smitty was just saying. I don't like this. You know, I would rather it be if Jones is unable to get on Claypool's outside shoulder, then just let him chuck whatever is there. But I'm going to fast forward it a little bit because I want you guys to see something. Hold on, where is it? Now, here's what I'm talking about. Watch him. Watch number 23. This is where the game falls short. Why is he backing off and going to cover his area? Where's he going? Why did he just stop like that? There's nobody to his right. That's what they got to get away from, is that. But if we keep watching, let me skip around because I don't need to waste you guys' time watching this whole thing. But look at this. Look at how the slot corner peels back off to go to his responsibility based on the zone. He has to cover that flat. Look. Corner allows the tight end to come to him. Jamal Adams recognizes, okay, let me go help here. I don't like that he turned to the outside shoulder like that. See, again, let me pause. Yeah. Let me pause it. This is the stuff I'm talking about, right? I want to see a guy with Jamal Adams, his type of wit and smartness on the field. I want to see these guys start diagnosing. Read the action. Like, what is he? Why did he turn like that? Because look, he should know right now. Okay, maybe you're gonna say, and this is probably what is scripted to do. He kind of knows that Claypool is about to come across the field, so they have him looking in that direction. Which, okay, honestly, looking at it at this shot, I'm not too mad at this because what if a post comes his way? I'm not too mad at that. But let's let it keep playing. The only thing is Madden don't make us believe that that's how it's, they don't make us believe it's coded like that.
Right.
But what I really wanted to show here, and then I'll cut it off. This is a moment where the two-man animation didn't play out. It allowed relative positioning to matter. I made this read because I knew I had Deontay Johnson caught on Bobby Wagner, and Bobby Wagner's back is turned. I saw that from way back. So I took a chance. I said, let me see if I can get this ball in here. And look at this. This is the most baffling thing to me about Madden. There are moments that you have that are just like that. That happens in real football, folks. That right there. It happens. Because he's choosing to not turn and play the ball. He's playing the man. But the issue with Madden is these moments are like, I swear, Smitty, I don't know what controls the consistency of how efficient. It's the weirdest thing, man. And DJ probably can contest to this. Neff, some of you guys who played it, there are times when you see moments in Madden 22 and you be like, wow. And then right after that,
yep,
you'd be like, I don't understand it, man. My only guess is it's that fight of old code or new code, and sometimes it rears its ugly head. I don't know. I just don't know.
And see, a play like that, Sim, that's the kind of stuff that we were going back and forth over during the beta when we was playing that, because we was like, yo, look at how, hey, I like how they're able to make these catches in tight spots like that. Like, I'm liking how this is playing. And it's like, it's there, but it doesn't feel like it did during the beta. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. Even with all the problems and everything in it, but still, it's like those elements, it's like they diminish as you keep playing the game over time. It diminishes, and it's like every play, your wide receiver has to literally be in front of the DB, or he has to be in a wide open space, because you can't throw your receivers open. And y'all know what I mean by that, by throwing receivers open. I'm talking about like APF, 2K5, Madden, PS2 days. Yeah. Actually throwing your receiver open. I ain't talking about the stuff that people do now, like the way this game functions now. No, that ain't throwing the receiver open. But
it's a small window of it in Madden. I figured it out, Smitty.
Oh, you figured it out?
I figured it out because I don't know if I recorded it, but I actually threw a goal line fade that was amazing. I'm gonna get it again because I was in. And the thing is, I think I figured it out. It's a small window of opportunity between the top of the route and the route already about to be complete. Like there's certain moments where you can. It's weird how it allows you to throw the ball in certain spots if you catch it at the right time. But if you miss it, then it's what Smitty's saying. The ball usually is going to travel in the direction of the route, or it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, man. And I have heard that all I heard was they know they're going to try to approach that soon. I've heard that from a couple people, but I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
All the things that are being said now, it's all being justified. And that's the thing. And I know somebody in here commented, is what King has said here. Said he agreed with changing the coding, but is it possible with all the problems that come with the legacy code, and will the executives allow it? And I'm like, that is true, but it's necessary. You have to do it. It needs to be done. Regardless of, man, it's going to be this big undertaking. Okay. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be done in the game. It has to. Period. Like I said, look what 2K did. They rewrote defense. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it was playing pretty dang on good. Now, it's been watered down a bit since launch because people whine and complain. It's been watered down. So, unfortunately, things have been tampered with. But this is this is the kind of stuff we need to have in Madden. It's like, and the only way you can honestly, 2K was doing the same kind of thing for years. They touch it, they tune it, they tweak it, they did all kind of little touches. But now it's like, yo, we actually paid attention to defense. You have to do that. You have to. So it's like you have to go in and start rewriting this stuff, even if it's in phases. You have to redo this stuff. That's the only way these games are going to get better. Like, that's it. Only so much you're going to be able to ride on playing cheaper to keeper. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're saying this now, post-launch. I wonder what would have happened if the game never came out yet and they said this kind of stuff. Oh, from our past data, da. And then if people played it, man, they would have been in for a storm. And they would have been in some real hot water if they did that. So, and I mean, look, guys are clowning it. Comp dudes, they clowning this game, man. They are clowning on it right now. And I mean, these dudes gotta hold on to the game because that's their bread. They make their money off of it. So it's like they gotta play through it. But it's crazy just how this game is when it could be so much better. Like that Chuck animation that you were forced into. If that was FIFA, literally, and Sim, you already know, literally the position that the defender is in, where the receiver is coming to him, that's where they're interacting at. And it's going to be an organic reaction. It's not going to be some force where he's just going to get slid in position like how it's shown in the clip. It's going to be an open thing. Same thing with the passing catch. It's going to be an organic tackle. It's not going to be, a forced two-man one that would have happened. It's not going to happen that way. So, and I mean, EA could have this game clicking. They could have. That's the saddest part about it. EA honestly could have this game clicking on all cylinders. It's just like 2K. They don't have to. They could sit on their hands. They don't have to go that hard in the paint. Yet they keep going hard every year. I would love to see Madden go that hard, man. Like, for a change, go that hard in the paint. Like, there ain't no competition around yet. Man, we got superstar mode on steroids now and stuff like that. Like, it would be crazy to see them go out that hard for the game, but they don't. I don't get it.
I don't get it, man.
I don't
get it. I put this comment up here only because this is what happens all the time, man, especially when I was really doing my breakdown videos or complaint. It's like you have to, this is what always used to happen to me in videos. People who watched them wanted me to focus on every single thing that happened in the video. Never did they allow me to talk about one specific theme. We all saw that. We all know how it works. A lot of times in the game where they just turn around and they know the ball's there or the defender, which is the reason why we talked for years about head tracking needed to regulate everything. Mm-hmm. So this is not a surprise. Yes, it did look fake. Why did the receiver snap his head? Yes. But again, the point I was making there was the fact that there was no two-man. So let's just stick to that topic. We were just talking about interaction at the time. I mean, the way things animate and all that, that's always up for discussion. So that's the only reason why I wanted to bring that up. Because I'll tell you, man, when I used to really do those videos that people wished I would continue doing, it was just like, for what? Man, if you miss one little thing in the video, but you didn't say, I'm like, oh, like, come on, man. like theme topic. Can we just focus on one thing at a time? But it's like I said, even before I showed the video, player interact, all of that is player interaction. That ain't just one-on-one. That's the player and the receiver and You know what I mean? Like, and I know DJ probably knows the same thing. Yeah. He just said it because I seen DJ even put stuff up on Twitter, giving Madden praise, and then people, oh man, I'm like, dog, like why? At this point, we all know it ain't where we all know it ain't where it's supposed to be.
Oh man, yeah, they made DJ go grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah,
man,
Walter.
Done,
and I wasn't saying that negatively either. I was just
no.
It wasn't really what you was. I'm just saying it happens all the time. Like, but yeah, I think you were just giving your opinion there. But just using that as an opportunity. That's why I kind of stopped doing all of that, man, because it's like, I don't know. But I think we all agree that Madden is just not quite where it could be, man. And it's sad because we're football guys, most of us. I want a football game. Like, I'm even debating now, man, and for the Steeler people who are here tonight, I want to give y'all an offline franchise, but I don't know, man. And honestly, I've actually had some decent fun with it offline with some sliders, but it's like I can't take a whole lot of it. I think maybe I'm just gonna play in the league, and that's it. And that's it. I don't know, man. I just don't know if it's worth me doing all of that because it's time, cutting up videos and if the game was like that, I would like to do nothing more than that. I would love to do what I originally started doing way back in the day, is just showing good football. That's how I ended up making so many videos back there with all of the games. But Madden just doesn't give me enough of those moments. It just doesn't give me enough of those moments, man. But
yeah. I gotta say this. I gotta just say this real quick. My man Expert tweeted this out earlier on the day, and I just gotta say this, man. He said, "I have no desire to play Madden most days, and that sucks because I love the CFM community. The only mode I enjoy is Campus Legends and Superstar KO." That's jacked up.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? That's jacked up. And it's like that says a lot. It's like dudes are forcing themselves to play it because, maybe they stream it. And I know Expert got like a few little sponsorships. He got some sponsorships and things like that off of it. But it, off of streaming on Facebook, and much respect, much shout out to you, Expert. But it sucks to see people feel that, just downplay, like, oh man, I just can't do this. And it's like, yeah, that's my whole thing too. Like, franchise, even with the update, it's not enough because the gameplay. It's the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like the gameplay. A mode is not going to save the gameplay. Add on. The branch can't the branch can't hold the tree up. You see what I'm saying? You're talking about one of the limbs are supposed to support the trunk. No. It doesn't work that way. So it's like you have to have it right with the gameplay first and foremost. Not making excuses about data. When somebody, you fundamentally got problems in your game defensively at launch. Fundamental problems. NFL licensed game.
Yeah, man.
All these years legacy. Hey, welcome to Madden Land and all that stuff. You can do all that. I don't care. You could get lions and tigers jumping through hula hoops of fire and saying EA Sports is in the game. That's fine. I don't care. But if the gameplay is hitting, do whatever the heck you want. Do another Kevin Hart video like you did before. Do one of those. But if the gameplay is hitting, that's when it's all good. No one cares. I want to be down with all the fun. Yep, I love it. That was hilarious. But when you're doing this, I'm like, man.
Yeah, man.
Seriously? Like, we supposed to rock with this? So that's the major problem here. And like if they don't switch that kind of stuff up, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work that way, man. You gotta get the gameplay right first. Then do the see. It would have been one thing if you at least even. I mean, I know it would take more time to get it, but it would have worked even better if you went and said, you know what, guys, franchise mode. We're gonna have the update come out, but we also address what was it? The cover 2, the cover 6, the cover 3 ish. We're doing all this work in this patch. Even if it's like there's still more work we're going to do, but we did some work on all these areas, and now we got it in this title update. That would have been better to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of do the likeness stuff and do all that stuff later. Get the gameplay stuff only. If you just did gameplay in the scouting, and that was it, and even if it's not all the way fixed, but it's like, put in the gridiron notes. This is what we did, dev note. This is not everything, but this is a starting point. There's more work we have to do. Yeah, you still gonna get hit, but at least it's like, you know what? I could give them props because they're at least going after the key problems off top. I'll give you that. But you can't give me the franchise mode stuff and you ain't got the gameplay stuff. I can't appreciate it because the gameplay is not going to reflect the franchise mode stuff.
Yeah,
a mode
exactly.
where players are supposed to feel different, play different, move different, react different. And it's like they're going to feel the same because the same problem. We got issues with cover 6. Oh, okay, so even though I draft a corner that fits my scheme or linebackers or whatever that fit my scheme regardless of their ratings, they're going to play the wrong way because it don't function right. At this point, it's October. Come on, man. Like, that's not going to cut it. Madden 11. Oh, gosh.
See, Luke.
I mean, I respect you. You know what? Some people
I love
say that,
Luke, man.
But I'm sorry.
I love Luke. I appreciate the support. But I love Luke, man. I really do. But this is why we always have like a semi-debate. I'm sorry. I can't give you that. Madden 11.
Ooh.
Now, I respect it. But if you could tell us, I want to know what makes Madden 11 the best one. And listen, it's your opinion. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. Only reason why I'm even bringing this up, Luke, is because I always want people to understand if I disagree with them or where it comes from. It's not because I'm not the type of guy that think I'm right. No, I'm far from that. I'm not that guy. So I always like to have real conversations. So I only highlight that to say if you ever felt like, dang, man, Sim doesn't agree. This is why. Like, I hated Madden 11. Like, the player movement, everything about that game to me sucked. But if you think it was the best one, I am really curious to know why. Okay. I forget. Luke does like stuff like that.
The hits and the concussion.
And he always talks about presentation. Okay. So what I'm saying, Luke, is weird because, everybody who watches the show, y'all have seen Luke come around before and he says stuff like, oh, here you go. He wants the game to sound and feel like it does on Thursdays. So he's into all of that, presentation packages, different announcements. Great. So am I. But from a pure gameplay guy, there's no way I can say Madden 11 is the best Madden. And that's what I'm saying. That's where we're always going to be different. But it's all love, it's all respect. But we're just viewing it from two different lenses. That's all. Yeah. Let's see. Let me. A couple other people said. So Hunter said 15 and 16 weren't that bad. I think after they went down. Yeah, 16 wasn't half bad, man. NYKia says, I think Madden 16 was really, really close. Then they jacked around with the wide receivers, took cover 3 match versus trips out the game, and it's never been yeah. And I'm and look, like I said, I always forget. I know where you're coming from, so I always have to remember that. And you are 100% right, because I always tell y'all I'm a sim guy. What that means, on and off the field, I want a pure replication. I want the gameplay to play authentic. I want presentation. I want all of that. I want all of that, because to me that's a 2K. Just go play a 2K basketball game.
What Luke just said about Man 15, remember when we was there? And that was one of the main things they shown us as far as presentation was that halftime show. And I remember sitting there talking to Sean and telling him, I'm like, this ain't beating 2K5. And I mean, he already knew I was gonna say that. He already knew that was coming. I was like, yeah, this ain't matching 2K5. And I was like, but I will give y'all credit because you guys are on that path.
And what did they do?
But they botched it. They left it there and then botched it. This what they got now, I don't know what the heck this is. Hey, we got Coachman on it. So who cares? I said if y'all build up on it, that's the thing. See, that's the stuff that I give 2K and other games props for, even FIFA, because you build on NH freaking. They went from the NBC presentation, which was not bad at all, and they did their own thing, which is better than NBC's.
Man,
they were promoted in their trailers, like the overlays show up as they're on the ice, like how you see in the NBA how they do it recently. Players are on the court and they got the digital graphic overlays showing up right there on the court. All that. It's like they're doing it in their game this year. That's the hot thing they did this year. So it's like, but see, they didn't gut it out and say, all right, we gutted our presentation to the bone. Now this is what we left y'all with. It's like, no, on top of us redoing it, doing it our own way, now we also added this, because look what Frostbite can do for us. It's like NHL, they took the slower approach, but they took the approach that was necessary to make the move over to Frostbite, and it helped their game. Because remember, all these years they were never on.
When did it come out?
What, NHL 22? Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I might have to copy.
So it's like they took the slower approach. Look where they're at now. The head tracking. We talked about that a few weeks ago when they did the gameplay track. The head tracking, the eye tracking, looking at everything, the way they move and animate. It's like
it's EA Canada, man. There's something wrong with Timber. And here's the funny thing. I joke about that. And some people laugh me out the building when I say this until they realize it. EA might have the best halftime show in gaming. And when I say that, people be like, no way. I say, okay, go play live.
Oh, that live. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Live's halftime show rivals anyone we've ever seen. In my opinion. That joint had everything. It had the different segments of the game. Top 3 and let's see who's on fire. Like that joint, it was the ESPN reason. It was the broadcast.
Yep.
The halftime show was phenomenal. Rest of the game,
yeah.
And I'm like, how does this happen? You put that much investment, maybe because it had the ESPN license, I'm assuming. But you put that much investment in, and see, whoa, I just had an epiphany. Wow. You know what? We got to wrap the show up, but I'm gonna say this. Remember, Smitty, when we used to say, and we both have said this, maybe the reason why Madden didn't have the ESPN package is because, the NFL has other broadcasts, show games. So does the NBA. The ESPN ain't the only network that shows basketball.
Oh yeah.
So how was it? How
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
TNT, anybody?
Right.
NBA
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah. That's
Now,
true.
maybe the NFL has different rules, but that argument, I think I throw my own argument out the window with that because the NBA is not only shown on ESPN, yet they built that whole game around ESPN from the broadcasters to the halftime show presentation. And Madden has yet to do anything with the ESPN licensing in that game. Wow.
I'm telling you, EA is sandbag. The thing is, someone has said this. I know we gotta go, but EA, the one thing that's been said is that NHL does not sell a lot of copies. That's why they're able to do all this. Because NHL's not selling a lot of copies. So they're letting them have all this ability to work so that way they can try and get more people engaged with the game. While Madden, on the other hand, it's like, well, we're good with getting the numbers we get. Yeah, numbers will go up. Basically, the data angle that they're talking about. The data says we're doing this. The numbers show us we're getting that. Oh, okay, well then we're good. We don't need to change nothing. It's just like them dropping FIFA. They're gonna do an experiment. Let's see what happens with no FIFA name, but just the licensing that we already got. We got the players, we got the teams. Let's see what happens. And if it works, they're gonna kick, push, coast. Keep the same show gonna go on. That's it. So that's it. It just depends upon how these games are being treated. EA is not treating Madden as a priority one title like that. If they were, we'd have it already, but they're not. Now,
They're not. Yeah.
Will 2K make them? It all depends upon how that game comes out and how engaging the game is. So that's all there is, and we won't find that out till basically the summertime. So ain't no need to really worry about that at this point.
Wow,
so that is an interesting point, Sim.
That's crazy, man. And Football Mind, he said he doesn't think anything beats 2K's halftime show. Let me tell you, man, I'm not gonna say it beats it, but live is close. It's the basketball equivalent. I'll say that because it showed replays.
Yeah,
it showed the top plays of the game.
It showed the top plays. It showed what the team was doing. Yeah.
Trust me.
Who was hot? Who was cold?
All of that.
It's the emphasis of what was going on in the game. Like if you was hitting a lot of threes in the first half, they talk about the 3-point shooting.
Man.
And they point out who's hot.
And when they showed the in-game clips, like they made the audio, it was like on the court level, so you can hear it. Dog, trust me. That joint.
The gameplay didn't look good, but they had something really good.
Yeah, that halftime show was dope.
Post game, so yeah.
Now I see what he's saying is they didn't show stuff from around the league, so that's kind of where. And I don't know, did they do that on halftime in 2K, or was that just a post game?
No, it was always your game. It was always your game. Only time they showcase games, what they used to do is they would spotlight who you play next. You know what I mean? Like coming up, they have this team and that team and everything. But now 2K does it on the front end. They in the pregame. So whereas it was part of the halftime show in franchise mode.
2K5 showed other teams in the post game.
Yeah. Well, no. 2K did it at halftime.
They did do it at halftime.
Yeah, at halftime they showed other scores again. So that was the only game where they would do those highlights. EA, the closest they came to that was with NCAA 14, doing the little game break, showing a score and going back. They didn't show any. Yeah,
2K5. Don't get it twisted. That joint was. But I'm saying for the modern day, live halftime show was like. It literally pissed me off. Smitty probably remembers when I first seen it. I was like, yo, why is this in this game? Madden had nothing close. Because y'all don't even understand how much of a presentation guy I am, too. know it's all I always lead with gameplay and all, but y'all have no idea. I get on Madden even now that the presentation is just dry, man. The same intros, like, oh man, I don't know, but we're gonna get out of here, guys.
Yeah, we gotta go.
But yeah, but this was a great show. I told you guys it would turn into something, even though we only had a couple topics. You know, these topics led us down a nice path. So that's all we got, man. So of course, man, make sure you guys tune in next week. And, you know, in times, if there's times where we don't do the show, I always notify you guys on Twitter, but I don't expect nothing to happen next week. So we should be back. And hopefully by that time, I may or may not have NHL by then. But if not, I'm sure I would have at least seen it or played it so we can discuss it a little further. I'm sure DJ would have played it by then. We'll have something to talk about, hopefully.
Yeah.
Other than Madden, I really try not to talk about Madden all the time, man. I really do, because it's, you know, same song and dance over and over. It's like whatever. But all right, man. Hope you guys have a good night. Continue watching football. The last time I looked, it was 21-7 Buccaneers, which I expect them to win anyway. But you know, I'm going to watch the rest of it because I'm waiting for Sunday to happen. I hate anybody else weird like me. I hate when we have late games. I feel like a player when I watch the Steelers. I like 1 o'clock. Let's get it in and out. Whether we win or lose, I can feel good or feel bad early in the day. I hate waiting all day to watch the game. It's the same way I did as a player. I hated waiting for games. Let's play now. Let's get it out the way. So I hate that we got the Sunday night game all day. Got to sit and wait. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go watch some football, man. So hope you guys have a great week, a blessed week. Like C-Mad said, same to you guys, and be safe, be well, and thanks for tuning in. We catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.